Hey, Dan Meyer, and today we're going to talk about 3 reality checks for entrepreneurs who are using virtual assistants, right? So 3 reality checks to make sure that you're getting the most out of your experience with your virtual assistant. 3 things you should have in the back of your mind as you get to know your VA better, as you give your VA more tasks to do, and as your relationship with your VA goes from onboarding to startup to more operational, more routine, things you want to keep in mind to be successful. This is based on my experience. Now, just a quick recap. For me, I launched my business back in 2011 and it failed epically in the first year because I tried to do it all myself. I could not grow my business fast enough to make enough profit because I was trying to wear every hat and it was deadly. So when I launched my second business, the thing that I did was hire VAs to help me. And before I knew it, I'd hired a team of several VAs to really scale my business to be successful. And it became so easy for me to be able to do my business with my VAs. I started offering it to clients like you. So now you have a VA to do the same thing that I did when I really grew my business through virtual staffing. These are the 3 things that you need to keep in mind that when you're going to really grow your business. If it's always going to be you and a VA, these are important. But if it's going to be you and more than one VA and eventually a team of virtual staff members, you definitely want to have these things in mind. Number 1, be a leader. Number 2, be a visionary. And number 3, be an idea generator. I want to share with you kind of what these mean to me and why I think they are important and things that you should look to do with your virtual assistant or your virtual team. And number 1 is you're the leader, right? Now, a lot of people say, oh, I need a VA who's going to take initiative. I need a VA who I'm not going to have to hold their hand. I want a VA to be able to do all this stuff. And that's really unrealistic at the beginning. Think about it. You're hiring someone you've never met, you've only known for a short time online, and you're expecting them to just take the ball and run downfield at full speed. That's not realistic. Stop. Think about it. You have to lead them. How do leaders lead? By example. Right? By being aware of how things are, of realizing that people take time to learn things and master things, especially if you're wanting to do things that you do already yourself. One of the biggest frustrations with people that start out with a VA is they feel like they're spending too much time having to train the VA. Now think about that. What does that mean, train the VA? You're training them not necessarily in a skill, but in a culture, in your culture up here, right? You have to lead them. You can't tell them to do something and expect them to do it. You have to be coherent in how you communicate and what you want them to do. You have to be clear. You have to make sure that you give them encouragement and compliments. You have to show a little humility that they're not going to be you overnight. You've chosen to leave behind what you did before to do this now. You are living in your passion. They are working for a paycheck. Now, your ultimate goal is to empower them through your leadership to believe in what you're doing so much that they start believing in your goal too. And your dream becomes their dream. That's how you become successful with virtual staffing. Not just telling them to do things and telling them to get it done and then being frustrated when they don't do it perfect the first time. So, leadership. Think about the best leaders in your life. Who are the people that you learn from? They're probably patient. They probably expect a lot, but they're there to help people get there, not expecting it overnight. And they probably are able to communicate in a way that helps you understand what they want you to do and why. Leadership, super, super important. JFK gave one of the greatest examples of the next one, visionary. Vision. Talking about your vision. JFK's visionary speech about by the end of this decade, we choose to go to the moon. Not because it's easy, but because it's hard. You left your previous life to become an entrepreneur, a business owner. You are an expert in your field because you have a vision and you want to share that with an audience. You have to articulate that just like JFK did with a space race. It's a clear plan, a big goal with a lot of deliverables and to-dos. That's what a vision is. A vision isn't just saying, I want to do this and expecting to get there. It's how you get there. It's the nuts and bolts, the details, and these have to be something that you can break down for your VA. Now, the VA can help you fill in a lot of the blanks. A VA at some point will become a bit of a visionary themselves and you start envisioning different things or different ways of doing things that could be faster, quicker, better, more effective. But in the beginning, you have to be the visionary. You have to put together the big picture and you have to tell them how they're going to get there with you. You have to outline your vision. And the third thing that's super important is you have to be the idea generator at first. Think about your first job or a recent job and your first day on the job, your first week on the job. You probably had ideas, but nobody was going to listen to them because you were new. Why would you expect a VA to be any different? They probably have ideas, but they're going to be a little bit afraid to bring them up. They want to make sure they do it right before they take risks. If you're hiring a VA to be risky, then you're probably going to be disappointed. There are very, very, very few VAs that are going to be able to generate ideas from day one. Most of them need to develop a competency in the task that you're giving them and to demonstrate that and to prove to themselves that they can help you, as well as prove to you that they can help you. And once this happens, and it can take a couple weeks to a couple months, then they'll be in a position where they can start throwing out ideas left and right that are going to fit your vision and you're probably going to say yes to. One of the biggest disappointments I see in people is when they hire a VA expecting the VA is going to fix everything, going to have an idea for everything, and yet everything the VA suggests or does that the client doesn't want to do because they did it before and didn't work, or they don't think it makes sense, or they don't have any trust built up. There's no track record of a success built up yet to really implement what the VA suggests. So it's really a bad idea to put it on the VA to be the idea generator. It's got to come from you. Throw out a bunch of your ideas to help you get to your vision and be the leader that the VA needs to execute the vision by implementing your ideas. And quickly over time, you're going to see the VA can start contributing in ways that they'll think of things you hadn't thought of. They'll give you new ideas, but it's got to come from you. So these are 3 of the reality checks that you have to really think about if you're going to be successful with your VA. You have to provide leadership, probably more than you wish you had to, but in the beginning, it will make a difference. If you spend a couple hours the first week and a couple days over the first month with that VA, just a few hours combined, it will then free the VA and you up to do a lot more independently down the road. And then when it comes to providing that vision, document it. As much as it pains you, either write it out or talk it out. Speak it to it in the camera if that's easier for you than writing it out. What are your goals? What is your vision? What are your short and long-term objectives? And then spew out a bunch of ideas. What should your brand look like? What kind of videos do you want to use? What social media are you looking for? What kind of font do you want to use? What is your colors? Who is your audience? Anything you can think of. Generate a bunch of ideas. Record it. Share it with the VA. And refresh and go forward from that over time. And eventually the VA or your virtual team will be the ones that generate even more ideas than you can. So that's really what you have to do. So be like JFK. Be like Steve Jobs. Be somebody that's going to really excel in what you do because you trust in your team to help implement that. And that trust comes over time through your leadership, your vision, and your ideas. So this was inspired by a post I saw from Virtual Assistant on Facebook. The VA said they expect me, the person, to carry out their non-existent vision, the person who built a referral-worthy experience. So somebody wanted a VA to build a referral-worthy experience, and the VA was frustrated because the client had what they were saying was a vision and it wasn't really practical. Now, that's not your case, and I'm not trying to look down on you. I'm trying to explain to you, think of it from the VA's perspective. Can they really see your vision? Have you articulated it really well? Are you giving them the leadership they need to succeed? And are you generating ideas that they can implement? If you want, for example, like this post, a referral-worthy experience for your customers, you better know what that looks like. If you're asking a VA to create that for you, it's 99.9% going to fail because the VA doesn't know your business the way you do. The VA is your right hand, not your right brain. Eventually, the VA will become a second brain for you. But in the beginning, use them as a tool to get things done. And over time, that will evolve. So that's my talk for today, right? And as you know, with Sonic VA, we want you to focus on what you do best. By hiring us to do all the rest, let us take away the busy work, the things that have to get done that you've thought of already, that are part of your vision, and be the leader to delegate and to inform and to educate and to empower so that these things can get done and off your plate. And in a matter of weeks, you're going to see you're going to have a lot more time to focus on what you want to do, to focus on what you do best, and not spend so much of your time doing the things you don't want to do. That is the ultimate goal of virtual staffing. So that's how I did it in my business. That's how I now have over 30 small business clients like you doing that right now. And that's how we're all going to be successful if we understand these reality checks. We have to make sure we're being realistic about how we're going to use our virtual assistant. If we don't, it's going to be incredibly frustrating and probably end up with all of us being unhappy with each other. So I hope it didn't come across as a little bit harsh. That was my intention to be real. And if you take that as such, you're going to be successful. And with that in mind, I want to thank you for your time for watching this video. I think it's super important that we think about the reality checks in our own minds that make us successful with our VA. So that's my talk for today. Thanks again for your time. Now go out there and provide leadership, vision, and generate ideas for you and your VA to be massively successful. Thanks again.